Angel Stadium for the third of a four-game weekend series. Angels have won the first two over the slumping Twins. Angels in first place in the American League West. Twins 4 games out in the AL Central. As we welcome you to Fox Saturday Baseball, Kenny Albert along with Eric Karros. The Angels, one of the hottest teams in baseball. Only the Yankees and the Dodgers have more wins. The Angels today, Eric, looking for their 8th consecutive win despite missing some key players.
Well, on June 1st, they were 24-24, 5.5 back. Today, they're 3.5 ahead, and it's really been because of the offense. First in Major League Baseball in batting average, second in stolen bases, second in runs. They've also been great at the closer role. Brian Fuentes, since June 1st, 17 of 17 with a 0.00 ERA.
And today the Angels once again facing two of the best hitters in all of baseball, the M&M boys, Justin Morneau and Joe Mauer, as the Twins look to gain ground on the Tigers. Angels and Twins coming up on Fox. Southern California. Fox Sports welcomes you to Angel Stadium for the third of a four-game weekend series between the Los Angeles Angels and the Minnesota Twins. Angels in first place in the American League West. Twins 4 games out in the AL Central. As we welcome you to Fox Saturday Baseball, I'm Kenny Albert along with Eric Karros. The Angels have won the first 2 games of this series, 6-5 in 10 innings and 6-3 last night. They remain one of the hottest teams in all of baseball. Only the Dodgers and the Yankees have won more games than the Angels this season. And Eric, they look to make it 8 in a row today, doing it without a couple of very important pieces of their puzzle.
Well, remember, on June 1st, the Angels were 24-24, 5.5 games back. Now they're 3.5 ahead, and they've done it with offense. They're first in Major League Baseball in batting average, second in stolen bases, second in runs. They put pressure on you constantly. And the closer role, Brian Fuentes, has been dominant since June 1st, 17 out of 17 with an ERA of, get this, 0.00.
That's pretty good.
That's good.
So the Angels look to make it 3 in a row over the Twins, 8 straight overall as they go up against 2 of the most dangerous hitters in all of baseball, Joe Mauer and Justin Morneau. Angels and the Twins coming up next on Fox. It's time now for the Budweiser opening pitch. Reach for the perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser, the great American lager. We are set to go here in Anaheim as 30-year-old right-hander Matt Palmer gets set to make his 12th start of the season. He's pitched out of the bullpen 9 times. This is his first start since late June. And the leadoff hitter for the Twins, Denard Span, takes a call, strike 1. Palmer with a record of 7-1 for the Angels this season. 0-2 on Span. Span, Mauer, and Morneau for the Twins. Here in the top of the first inning, Minnesota 1 game under the 500 mark. They've lost 3 in a row. On the ground to the right side, backhanded by the first baseman Morales. The toss to the pitcher Palmer covering. to retire Span, one away here in the Twins' first. The Minnesota batting order brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. Span followed by the designated hitter today. Day game after a night game. Joe Mauer. Justin Morneau hits third. Jason Kubel in the cleanup spot. Then Michael Kadire. Ryan Busher, the third baseman, hits sixth. And the bottom third of the order, Brendan Harris, the shortstop, the catcher, Mike Redmond, and the second baseman, Alexi Casilla. So with one away, here's Mauer. 5 for 8 with 2 home runs in this series. And Mauer takes a called strike, 0-1.
Well, and how often do you find the American League slugging percentage leader batting second in your lineup? But it's been a dark hole for the Twins this year. Ron Gardner had Mauer there last night, hit a few home runs, and decided not to change things up. There you see Gardy. Been a rough road trip so far, some tough games as of late. But still, this ball club comes in only 4 games back.
They were only 2.5 out heading into play last night. Twins lost here in Anaheim, and the Tigers swept a twin bill from the Chicago White Sox. Justin Morneau on deck. 1 out here in the top of the first inning. Joe Mauer hitting .365. Weak ground to the third. Figgins. High throw. 2 away. Eric, the sprint pitcher profile for 30-year-old Matt Palmer.
Well, he's got to show control. I mean, when you look at his numbers, he's about even with strikes and walks. It's something that, you know, he's got to be able to be around the plate. And the curveball, that's his pitch. When he gets that over the plate, he can be very effective.
Facing Justin Morneau with 2 away. Missing inside, ball 1. Matt Palmer, the first rookie pitcher in Major League history over the age of 30 to start a season with 6 consecutive wins, all as a starter. He won his first 5 starts. Now 7-1, but his last 8 appearances have come out of the pen.
Well, and a nice job as a starter, you know. But you look at the numbers, and he was getting tremendous run support. And that's something that, you know, when you're getting 6, 7, 8 runs a game, you know, you can go out there and you hold the other team to 5 or 6. And you're coming out smelling like a rose because you look at that victory column and you've got to win.
1-2 to Morneau. Fastball missing away. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
John had some real good starts as of late.
I spoke to Ron Gardenhire before the game. He said, we got lucky.
Yeah, he did. He did to get lucky.
Lackey has won his last 3 starts with an earned run average just above 1. Morneau draws a 2-out walk. So he heads down to first. And Jason Kubel will step to the plate. As we check out the Angels in the outfield, Willits in left, Matthews in center. Filling in for the injured Torrey Hunter, Bobby Abreu in right. Around the infield, Morales, Asturis, Ibar, and Figgins, with Mike Napoli behind the plate.
Well, and when you look at that defense, you know, numbers aside, it's a very athletic defense. Most of the guys out there can do a lot of things and are very fluid.
First pitch to Kubel, missing away, ball 1. Jason Kubel with batting average over 300, 17 home runs. One and 1. Kubel with some terrific numbers against the Angels this season and against right-handed pitchers as well, hitting .347 against right-handed pitching.
Now, you hit a big home run the other night against Jared Weaver. Get the Twins out to an early start. You see Michael Kadire on deck. Kubel doesn't get a lot of attention just because the team is built around Morneau and Mauer. People tend to forget what a nice year Jason Kubel has had and how important he's been. There's Weave right there. Threw a good ball game the other day. You know, for this Angel ball club, Lackey and Weaver have really stepped it up as far as the starting pitching. They're still looking for Saunders and Santana to hit their stride.
3-1. And the count is now full. Jared Weaver with 10 wins. Weaver 10-3. As we take a look at the big swing from Kubel.
This pitch up in the zone with some movement. You know, not overpowering as Palmer, but he does have movement. He gets it up in the zone. Tough to catch up to.
Morneau goes. Payoff pitch. Missing low and inside. Ball 4. So after retiring Span and Maurer, Palmer has issued consecutive walks.
Well, and that's what we talked about. You know, for Palmer to be effective, he obviously has to get the ball around the plate. He is susceptible to walking guys, and that's something you don't want to do, especially when you have a guy coming to the plate like Michael Kadire, 16 home runs.
So first and second with 2 outs. Top of the first inning in Anaheim. Kadire in this series just 1 for 7. And Palmer missing inside with the fastball. And now Napoli will visit the mound.
Well, and I like this. Napoli just going out to settle him down, just to get Palmer to calm down. You know, a lot of times as a young player or an inexperienced guy, you know, when things start to kind of go awry, you know, you start to speed things up, and that's when you've really got to step back, slow it down. Napoli goes out and forces that issue on Palmer.
Now 2-0. Palmer, we mentioned, has not started a game in nearly a month. He said he was going to treat this afternoon's outing like a series of relief appearances. Mike Scioscia told us he hoped to get 5 or 6 innings out of Palmer today.
Well, he just wants this relief appearance to last more than 1 or 2 innings.
Yes.
There's Mike Scioscia. You know, again, the record is 7-1, but you look at that starter ERA, over 5 runs per game.
You mentioned the run support. That's a big reason why, as the Angels have scored over 7 runs per start for Palmer. And now with the count 3-0, the pitching coach Mike Butcher heads to the mound.
Well, again, just trying to settle the pitcher down here. You know, in these situations, sometimes you go out there and you just talk about something other than pitching, something other than what's going on out on the field, because all the attention, all the focus is, I've got to throw a strike, I've got to get it over. Sometimes a pitching coach or the catcher will go out to the mound and say, Matty, what's going on, man? What'd you do last night? How's everything going? And has nothing to do with what's going on the field, because there's already enough focus on what is happening each and every pitch.
The 3-0, and for a called strike. Palmer retired the first 2 Twins on 7 pitches. This will be pitch number 24 here in the top of the first inning. 3-1, and Kadire pops it up to the right side in foul territory. Morales makes the catch. The Twins strand 2 after a pair of walks in the top of the first. American League West, their batting order brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. John Figgins will lead off, followed by Myceris Turris. Bobby Abreu hits third. Kendry Morales in the cleanup spot. Then catcher Mike Napoli, shortstop Eric Ibar. Howie Kendrick, the DH. Gary Matthews Jr. will hit 8th, and Reggie Willits, the left fielder, 9th. So Figgins leading off against the 27-year-old right-hander Nick Blackburn, making his 20th start. Record of 8-4 for the Twins with 3 complete games this season. Blackburn catching the inside corner, so Figgins falls behind, 0-2.
Well, Sean Figgins, the igniter of this offense, gets on base, makes things happen. A tough out at the plate as well.
He's 6 for 10 lifetime against Blackburn. Pops this one up, shallow left field. The catch is made by Kubel for out number 1. So Blackburn wins the battle this time. The sprint pitcher profile for Nick Blackburn, who is 0-2 lifetime against the Angels.
Well, in speaking to manager Ron Gardenhire, he was hoping that Blackburn could give him innings today. That bullpen really needs a rest, and really Blackburn's been his most effective pitcher all year long. He's got to rebound. Had a rough outing against the Oakland A's in his last start, but that was more the exception than the rule.
He's got at least 8 innings in 4 of his last 7 starts, with his Turris at the plate, 2-0. But you mentioned that last outing on Sunday in Oakland. Blackburn allowed 7 runs, 13 hits in 5 innings. A game the Twins led by 10 runs and lost 14-13.
Well, and Ron Gardenhire told us that, Blackburn, primarily a sinker ball pitcher, the ball just was not sinking in Oakland.
3-1 now on his Turris. Switch hitter batting from the left side against the right-hander Blackburn. Foul ball. So his Turris stays alive. Angels with 6 switch hitters in their starting lineup today.
Well, a very pesky group as well. They're not only switch hitters, but guys that just put the bat on the ball. Not up there with the big swings, not trying to drive the ball out of the ballpark every at bat.
Payoff pitch to his Turris. Nice play by the second baseman Casilla. The throw to Morneau for out number 2.
Well, Casilla gets over there and then pivots on his knees and makes a good throw to Justin Morneau. See, although he's down on the ground, he's in control. He's not, a lot of young players get all excited and they're rolling around, but he garners himself, gets himself set, makes a good throw.
So with 2 away, here's Bobby Abreu, who has been on fire since the beginning of June. He leads the American League in runs batted in. 4th in the league, Eric, in on-base percentage, and 8th in runs batted in.
Well, and I think what he's brought to this ball club that you just can't quantify in a stat sheet. You see him fly to left field, but his patience. He's been patient. The Angel Ball Club is patient. 0-0 ball game. We go to the second.
By Hyundai. Now Hyundai Assurance can even lower your price at the pump. And by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. Kenny Albert, Eric Karros here in Anaheim. Second inning. Brian Busher, the Twins' third baseman, leads off against Matt Palmer. They needed 24 pitches to get through the first inning. He walked 2, but did not allow a run.
Well, and went through the first 2 hitters. Marty Aronoff pointed out only 7 pitches. You know, that's something that could have been a quick inning, then it becomes a long, laborious inning.
Deep left field, back on the warning track. The catch is made by Reggie Willits to retire Busher. Well, you can now find Fox Sports on both MySpace and Facebook. Get breaking news, video clips, widgets, and more. Just go to myspace.com/Fox Sports or Facebook.com/Fox Sports and join the community.
You in that community? Or you, no.
I am part of the Facebook community.
Oh, okay. All right.
What about you?
I'm not. I haven't delved into that yet. I'm trying to keep my privacy there.
But now Fox Sports is part of the
That's right.
MySpace and Facebook community. I see you're busy tweeting right now.
Tweet.
Make sure to continue tweeting throughout the game. Brendan Harris pops it up. Second baseman is Turris, and the shortstop collide. Ibar. And the catch is made by Turris for out number 2.
Well, that's when, you know, when you're 5'7", 5'8", and you're the taller of the 2, you're going to catch that ball. Right there. Little miscommunication, but it's Turris just a little higher up in the air.
So Palmer, as was the case in the first, retires the first 2 Twins here in the second inning. Catcher Mike Redmond takes a called strike, 0-1. Day game after a night game, so Redmond makes the start behind the plate. Joe Mauer, the DH today. In fact, we saw Mike before the game. He said, in my 11-year Major League career, I don't think I've ever missed a day game.
Yeah, he gets that. He's got that role. Always the backup guy, but you know, 11 years, it speaks volume of his ability and always ready to play. Guy's a consummate professional.
The 2-1, and it will drop in right field in front of Abreu. So Mr. Day game, Mike Redmond, with the first hit of this game. Time now, Eric, for a DirecTV game break. Yankees and the A's, bottom of the 8th. Derek Jeter, a 2-run home run. But the A's still led 6-3. And then Mark Teixeira goes deep as well. However, Jeter, in the bottom of the 9th, flies out to center to end the game. The A's win it 6-4.
Couple of balls jumping out right center, right field. Seems to be where the jet stream is there.
You can watch your favorite MLB team no matter where you live with DirecTV. So the A's, on the day after their trade of Matt Holliday to St. Louis, with a victory, ending the Yankees' 8-game win streak.
See the Yankees next week, the Dodgers next week. 2 teams that could meet up at the end of the year and end of October, beginning of November. You see the defense. You see Sean Figgins over at third base playing in case of a bunt. That's one of the things. Casilla has not hit the ball on the ground enough this year. A lot of pop-ups. Bernard Span on deck. But a guy like Casilla with his speed doesn't utilize it a lot. Pops it up, pops it up. And, you know, one of the reasons he's been hovering about the 150, 160 mark all year long.
Only 3 for his last 29. Redmond takes his lead off first. And Casilla takes a called strike, so the count is full. Redmond goes, payoff pitch. Casilla fouls it off.
See Redmond getting a pretty good jump, looking in the whole time. I'm not so sure, unless the ball goes out of the park, Redmond doesn't have the speed to score. Even if he does get an early jump.
Redmond goes, and Casilla fouls another one back to the screen. So Casilla stays alive with 2 outs, top of the second inning. Here in Anaheim, Angels have won the first 2 games of this series. Angels have won 7 straight. Have opened up a 3.5 game lead on the Rangers in the American League West. Redmond on the move again. Casilla takes ball 4. Third 2-out walk issued by Palmer over the first 2 innings.
Well, same thing, same pattern as the last inning. Get the first 2 outs quickly and then create a little jam for yourself.
So with runners on first and second, here's Denard's span. Grounded out to the first baseman Morales. His first time up. Palmer has retired the first 2 Twins in each of the first 2 innings, but then has run into trouble. First pitch, right back to the pitcher Palmer. He knocks it down, throws to first, and for the second consecutive inning, the Twins scram 2. The refreshing taste of lime. Bottom of the second inning. Here in Anaheim, Nick Blackburn retired the Angels in order in the first on 11 pitches. Kendry Morales, the first baseman, will lead off, followed by Napoli and Ibar. Morales has put up some terrific numbers as of late. His 20-game hitting streak came to an end here on Thursday night when he went 0 for 5 in the series opener with the Twins.
Well, he's been pretty consistent all year. Power numbers, the RBIs, each month. Hasn't really, had one breakout month, but has, as I've said, 4 home runs, 5 home runs a month, about anywhere from 13 to 17 RBIs.
17 home runs, 53 runs batted in all. Now 1 and 2 on Morales.
Talk about power. Mike Napoli, big 3-run shot last night, has the ability to hit it out of anywhere in the ballpark.
1-2. Blackburn missing low and inside. Napoli, a game-winning walk-off hit. Doubled in the 10th inning on Thursday as well.
Well, and that's the thing about this Angel Ball Club. It hasn't just been one guy. I mean, each night it seems to be somebody different.
Backhanded by Morneau. Blackburn covering one away. Well, Fox Sports is proud to support the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's research. The Michael J. Fox Foundation's goal is to drive the development of better treatments and a cure for Parkinson's. To learn more, please visit michaeljfox.org. With one away, here's Napoli. We mentioned his walk-off double on Thursday night. 3-run homer last night. Angels hit 3 long balls last night, accounting for all 6 of their runs.
Well, and guys you wouldn't necessarily expect. You know, Napoli, he has shown power this year, but Jeff Mathis hitting a home run, Rob Quinlan. Again, getting back to the theme that this ball club gets contributions from everybody. And that's what, you know, Mike Scioscia's ball clubs historically, they don't just focus or center around 1 or 2 ball players. And that's how they are able to withstand guys going to the DL, because everybody seems to contribute.
Foul back to the screen, 0-2. You mentioned Mathis, who splits time behind the plate with Napoli. You look at their combined numbers from the catcher spot: 18 home runs, 62 runs batted in.
No, they have been productive. There's no question about that.
Napoli fouls it back this way, just above the broadcast booth. Fastball missing inside, 1-2. The sizzling Eric Ibar waiting on deck.
Man, he's had a great month of July so far.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And we've mentioned the Angels doing it without some key players. Vladimir Guerrero, Torrey Hunter on the disabled list. Juan Rivera still out. Yet they continue to put up W's.
There's Vlad right there. You know, he's been out, but, you know, the thing about it, even when he's been in, he hasn't been the Vladimir of old. You see Torrey Hunter and Vladimir, how many days they've been on the disabled list. Vladimir, his 2nd stint this year.
Full count. 3-2 on Napoli. The Angels only 4 games over 500, Eric, with Guerrero in the lineup. Without Vladimir, 15 games over the 500 mark. So his absence has certainly not affected the ball club.
Well, again, he's not the Vladimir Guerrero that, you know, we as fans are used to seeing. You know, the injuries have caught up. He doesn't run as well. He doesn't, you know, have the drive in his legs. Hasn't hit for the power this year. You know, and while still a presence, the bottom line is he's not the same productive hitter that he's been in the past. And with him out of the lineup, they're able to infuse some speed, do some different things.
On the 10th pitch of the at-bat, Napoli pops out to the second baseman Casilla for out number 2. So Blackburn wins the battle as Eric Ibar steps to the plate. Ibar's gotten the job done this season, Eric, both at the plate and in the field.
Well, I think that Mike Scioscia expected the defense. Right? That's one thing that, you know, he's always been impressed with Eric Ibar. He's always made the great play. And I think the Angel organization just hoping that he would be more consistent on the routine play, and that's what he's done this year. You couple that with what he's done with the bat, especially this month in July, you know, hitting .462. You know, that's impressive. But I think for me, the most impressive thing this month, 16 RBIs. You don't expect that from a shortstop that's not named. I'm going to date myself. I was going to say Alex Rodriguez. Jeez. You remember when Alex played short?
Vaguely. Looking at Ibar's batting average during the month of July, you mentioned 462. I heard you hit 462 during the month of July when you were 9.
That's good.
He's 14 for his last 28, including a 7-hit day in a doubleheader in Kansas City on Tuesday. He went 7 for 9 during the twin bill. Lost his bat, pops it up to the right side. Morneau makes the catch. Another 1-2-3 inning for Nick Blackburn. Joe Mauer will lead off for the Twins. Will return to Anaheim after these messages from the local Fox station. Ball presented by Pepsi, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball. Joe Mauer leads off here in the top of the third inning. Takes a called strike from Matt Palmer. Mauer grounded out to the third baseman Figgins, his first time up. Batting average now at .364. And Eric, over the last 50 years, the only catcher to finish the season with a batting average over .360.
No, I know that. I know that. Go ahead, finish it off. Finish it off for the viewers. Go ahead.
You know him very well. A fellow by the name of Mike Piazza with the '97 Dodgers. Batting average of .362.
Had some great hitters surrounding him, I think, that
year. I was about to point that out. Especially the first baseman.
Mondesi.
There's the 2-1. Palmer missing away.
I think, you're looking at Joe Mauer's season so far. What's even more impressive is the fact that he missed the first month. He's on the disabled list and, started off May and just
rips this one into right field for a base hit.
Just hot right from the get-go.
So he misses the month of April, and then all he does when he comes back is win the American League Player of the Month award in May.
Well, he's just trying to trivialize spring training and all that other stuff. Just showing, just roll out of bed and hit. There are very few guys that can do that. And not to say Joe Mauer works tirelessly with hitting coach Joe Vavra, the Twins.
So Mauer on at first with Justin Morneau at the plate. Fouls the first pitch back over the screen, 0-1. Morneau walked his first time up. One of 3 walks issued by Palmer over the first 2 innings. Native of New Westminster, British Columbia. An All-Star in 2007 and again in 2008. American League Most Valuable Player in 2006. Jason Kubel waiting on deck. Twins have stranded 2 base runners in each of the first 2 innings. Mauer, a leadoff single here in the 3rd. And Morneau drills this one to left. Catch is made by Willits for out number 1. So with 1 away, here's Jason Kubel, who, like Morneau, walked back in the first inning. Kubel grew up in Glendale, California. Many friends and family members on hand for this weekend series. Kubel likes hitting against Angels pitching this season, 10 for 22.
Courtesy throw over. The Minnesota Twins do not run. Denard Span will move every once in a while, but basically a station-to-station ball club. Will wait for the home run.
Fastball in for a called strike. 1-1 on Kubel. One out, top of the 3rd here in Anaheim. No score. Angels won the first 2 games of this series. Joe Mauer takes his lead off first. The 1-1 from Palmer. And Kubel sends this one to deep right center. Well, they wait for the home run, and they get it. Number 18 of the year for Kubel. 2-0 Minnesota.
Well, we talked about Jason Kubel and how he flies under the radar because all the attention, Joe Mauer, Justin Morneau, but Kubel having a great season. This ball out over the plate gets extension. The daytime here in Anaheim, the ball will fly, and no question about that one.
The Twins just 3 shy, Eric, of their home run total from all of last season. They had 111 home runs last year. They now have 108 with over 2 months remaining in the 2009 campaign. Kadire sends this one to deep right center, and the catch is made by Gary Matthews Jr. at the wall.
Here, Jason Kubel, how Matt Palmer decides to go after him. Tries to stay away. This one gets over the plate. This thing just up in the zone. Not a lot of movement. Right over the heart of the plate. You know, as a pitcher, that leaves your hand. You're just going, oh, no! You hope the hitter misses it, but at the big league level, guys don't miss very often.
Kubel's second home run of this series took Jared Weaver deep on Thursday. So the Twins strike first. Mauer a leadoff single. And then after Morneau flied out to left, Jason Kubel a 2-run shot. 1-2 now on Brian Busher, the third baseman who flied out to left his first time up. Busher down on strikes. But the Twins take a 2-0 lead. Middle of the 3rd here in Anaheim. Howie Kendrick leads off for the Angels here in the bottom of the third inning. Takes a called strike on Nick Blackburn, who has retired the Angels in order in each of the first 2 innings. Kendrick working on a 6-game hitting streak. He's been sizzling since his return from AAA, batting .370 since his recall. There's Randy Marsh, the crew chief, the home plate umpire in his 28th Major League season. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Angel Hernandez at first base. Marvin Hudson at second. And Lance Barksdale is the third base umpire. Backhanded by Casilla. 1 away. So Kendrick is retired. Well, everything you knew about fantasy football, Eric, is about to change. Introducing the all-new Fox Fantasy Football with more customizable features and new ways to play. Log on to foxsports.com on MSN and join the next generation. Yes, the next generation of fantasy football. There's a familiar face, Brett Favre, who is hopefully going to decide soon as to whether or not he is going to play for the Minnesota Vikings this season.
So you're a football insider. What's going to happen there? Do you know? Any thoughts on that? As an unbiased broadcaster of the NFL.
I don't know if he will, but I think he should.
I think he should.
I think he can still play. I think he would be a huge addition to the Vikings.
Does that make them the favorite?
In their division?
Yep.
Well, I would think the Bears.
I'm going to go to the conference.
The Bears, with the addition of Jay Cutler, will certainly be improved, but I would think it would make the Vikings one of the favorites in the conference. He could still play. Started all 16 games for the Jets last season. He struggled in December. As Gary Matthews Jr. grounds out to the shortstop, Brendan Harris. But I hope he comes back. One of my favorite all-time athletes. Just a regular guy. You sit down to chat with him. Loves to talk about hunting and fishing. And the days he spends on the ranch in Mississippi. Training camp's getting set to open over the next week to 10 days. Right around the baseball trading deadline as well, coming up on July 31st. Where will Roy Halladay wind up? Our Ken Rosenthal reports that the Phillies remain the apparent front runner, but the Angels, among other teams, are in the mix.
You know, I think from the get-go, that's where I thought that the Angels, I thought really were a team that, you know, had as good a reason as any club to go out and get Halladay.
Willits drives this one to deep right field. He's never hit a home run in the major leagues. That was his 623rd career at bat. Angels down in order once again. straight. Valspar, the beauty, goes on. By Bank of America Home Loans. Starting now, home has a new address. And by Chevy. Top of the fourth inning in Anaheim. Twins lead the Angels 2-0. Brendan Harris, the number 7 hitter, leads off for Minnesota against Matt Palmer, who has thrown 59 pitches over the first 3 innings. Has allowed 2 runs on 2 base hits. He's walked 3 2-out walks over the first 2 innings. Issued by Palmer, starting for the first time since June 28th. Palmer spent 7 years in the San Francisco Giants organization, including 5 years in Double-A. Here's the 0-1 to Harris. He finally made his major league debut last season. Started 3 games for the Giants. He was a non-roster invitee by the Angels to spring training. He was issued number 90 back in March. But here he is making his 12th start.
Well, and he's done a nice job, but the reality is that the Angels need another starter. I mean, is it going to be from within with guys that they already have in a Joe Saunders or a Santana? You know, both of those guys, you know, they have not thrown like the Angels had hoped. And Santana's been on the disabled list. Saunders has yet to get on track. We still have 2 months to go, but that's why the holiday that could make some sense.
Ibar fires across to retire Harris. We spoke with pitching coach Mike Butcher, asked him about Palmer's performance so far today.
Well, so far he's got to really get back in the counts. Right now he's been working behind, and he's having a tough time getting back in counts. So the 3 2-out walks has been kind of haunting for him right now. So looking for him to go out there and establish strike one, get back being aggressive in the zone, and getting early outs.
Brian Fuentes, your closer, has been lights out since the beginning of June. What's the difference from the first few weeks of the season to now?
Well, Eric, I think early on in spring training he had some back stiffness. He was set back really twice in spring, and I think it kind of pushed him back a little bit. I think he found a nice little groove, a lot of bullpen work. He's got to have to get a lot of, usually before a game he'll throw quite a bit. Almost every day, pre-game workout, he's usually throwing off the pen. So it took him a while to get in his groove, and I think he's found a nice little groove right now. And I think that's just the consistent work, feeling good, and going out there and having that good repetition has really made a success.
Thanks very much, Mike.
You got it, guys.
Our thanks to the Angels pitching coach Mike Butcher for joining us. The 1-2 from Palmer to Mike Redmond. Fastball catching the outside corner. A called strike 3. Second strikeout for Palmer.
Good location right here. Not much that Redmond can do. Randy Marsanek gets the outer half of the plate. Napoli was set up inside.
So Palmer retires the first 2 in the inning. Here's the number 9 hitter, Alexei Casilla. He does a good job getting out of the way.
That pitch just misses his toe. Bounces. I'll tell you, if I'm having a year like Casilla right now, which is right around the 160 mark, I'm hopping around like that ball just smoked me right on the foot, somehow or another trying to get down to first base. You know, things have not gone well for him this year.
Try and get on any way you can. And there's a base hit up the middle. So for the 3rd time in 4 innings, Palmer retires the first 2, and then the 3rd hitter in the inning reaches base.
There, Casilla gets the ball up in the zone. He keeps his head right on it. You see the eyes right to the ball and just drives it right up the middle. Now, the thing that is nice about that, he keeps the ball on the ground, even on a pitch that's up in the zone. Again, his big problem has been everything up in the air, and then you can't utilize your speed.
So Casilla takes his lead off first. Denard Span 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice. Twins with 2 runs in the 3rd inning on Jason Kubel's 18th home run of the season, a 2-run shot. Fastball missing inside.
You know, see, now this is a situation right now. If I'm the Minnesota Twins, I just start Casilla. I let him run. If he gets thrown out, then I've got Denard Span leading off the next inning. If he's out there at second base, he's in scoring position. The Twins already have a 2-0 lead. Put some pressure on the Angels. And I think that's a difference in the ball clubs. You know, the Angels, on the other hand, if they had a guy on first that could run a little bit, Mike Scioscia had put that player in motion. They'll force the Angels in this situation to have to make a play.
One ball, no strike count. Casilla holds. Now 2-0 on Span. 2 outs. Top of the 4th inning here in Anaheim with Joe Mauer waiting on deck.
Now there is no running. Now I would not have him go. 2-0. I let Denard Span up at the plate with a 2-0 count. Let him take control of the situation.
Span takes ball 3.
No running, an absolute take right here. Got Joe Mauer, one of the best hitters in all of baseball, on deck. Almost a situation where you take the next 2 pitches.
Right down the middle, 3-1. Palmer has already walked 3 Twins today. Casilla back in. Casilla goes. Span swings and misses, so the count is now full as Casilla has stolen second base.
See, there it is. You force him to make a play, but again, in that situation, as a hitter right there, you've got to know that you've got the best hitter on your team up next. And Denard Span has to know that, look, if that pitch isn't right there, you can't swing at it. See, Casilla gets a good jump, but that pitch to Span out of the zone, not even close. And he's swinging at a 3-1 pitch. Should be first and second right now with Joe Mauer up at the plate.
Instead, a full count. Mauer still waiting in the on-deck circle. Payoff pitch to Span. And he is down on strikes. So Span strikes out with Casilla in scoring position. When we come back, we'll chat with the Twins skipper, Ron Gardenhire. Sean Figgins leading off for the Angels here in the bottom of the fourth. Takes a called strike from Nick Blackburn, who has been perfect over the first 3 innings. He's retired the Angels in order in the first, the second, and again in the third. Figgins, deep right field. It is out of here. The first hit of the game for the Angels is a home run, third of the season off the bat of Sean Figgins.
Well, we talk about it. The Angel offense always comes in unlikely packages. Not that Figgins isn't an offensive force, but you don't expect power from him. Here, a nice shot cuts the lead in half. 2-1 ball game. You know, look at that. The head right down. He's got extension. He's getting the most out of his body and his swing. You know, and that's something that this Angels ball club, you know, they've been on the tightrope the last couple of innings. One of the Twins left 2 runners on in the first, 2 runners on in the second. The fourth inning left the runner on second. You know, they weren't able to open up this ball game, and you know, here we are in the fourth. They're up 2-0, and now 2-1 with 1 swing of the bat.
Is Torres, right field. Kadire racing over, can't get to it. Extra bases for Myceres Turris, who after Nick Blackburn retired the first 9 Angels in this game. Back-to-back extra base hits, a Figgins home run, and then his Turris double.
This pitch up in the zone, but as you see, the bat is level. Stays on top of the ball. It's out of the reach of Michael Kadire. Again, the Angels' constant pressure. And although a runner in second, and Bobby Abreu, great with runners in scoring position at the plate, still a threat to run at second base. The Angels will not just sit and wait for the big hit.
Abreu fly to left his first time up. Blackburn missing away, ball 1. Abreu third in the American League with runners in scoring position. This Turris, big lead off second. Ball 2.
I mean, for me right now, the biggest play in the game, this pitch right here, a 3-1 pitch to Denard Span with the runner on first base. That should have been ball 4. You have runners on first and second, and then Joe Mauer coming to the plate. Instead, he misses, swings at the next pitch, strike 3, nothing. I mean, and those are the things that when you're going well, he takes that pitch. When you're not going well, you swing and miss, and you don't take advantage of your opportunities. See this pitch a bit low. Bobby Abreu didn't like that call. On a 2-0 pitch especially, that changes the whole complexion of the at-bat. Instead of 3-0, now the pitcher's right back in it, 2-1.
Here's Turris back in at second.
See right there, going in deep first. Not a real close play.
Ball 3, 3-1. With Morales on deck. Is Turris on second. Figgins led off the inning with a solo home run. Abreu with a base hit into the right field corner. As Turris will score easily. The Angels have tied this game at 2. RBI number 64 on the season for Bobby Abreu. and his leading 43rd since the start of June.
Well, Abreu works the count in his favor to 3-1 and then is still looking for something to pull. Surprised that Redmond is going in the inner half of the plate there because, again, with the runner on second base and the type of hitter that Bobby Abreu is, he's looking to hook something. You see, he got the head straight down and he hooks this ball to the right side and is rewarded for doing the right thing with a base hit, a line drive to right.
So the Angels coming from behind. Here in the fourth inning. Angels with 31 come from behind victories this season, including 7 of their last 8 wins at home. Three hits in the inning, still nobody out. As Kendry Morales takes a called strike, 0-1. Morales grounded out to the first baseman Morneau. Back in the second inning. Abreu with 20 stolen bases this season. Abreu's 11th consecutive year with at least 20 steals. Longest streak since Rickey Henderson did it 23 consecutive years, and Rickey, of course, will be inducted into the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown tomorrow.
See that hole over here on the right side. Morneau having to hold Abreu at first.
One ball, 2 strike count. Still nobody out. Mike Napoli waiting on deck. Bottom of the fourth inning. Twins and Angels tied at 2. Blackburn retired the Angels in order each of the first 3 innings. Running into trouble here in the fourth. Abreu goes, and Morales fouls it back.
You see, Abreu has 3 steps before Blackburn even released the ball. Again, you don't just steal bases based on speed. I mean, sure, that's an absolute luxury to have as a base stealer, but you couple that with intelligence and the ability to decipher the pitcher, makes you that much more effective.
Ball 2, 2-2. This one to deep right center field, and it's off the wall. Abreu around third, heading home. The throw to the plate is high. Abreu slides in safely. The Angels lead 3-2.
This pitch again out over the plate, up in the zone. Morales hits it off the wall. We've had 4 straight base hits. And if you notice, none of those base hits have been on pitchers' pitches. It hasn't been as if somebody went with a pitch on the outer part of the plate. You see Abreu reading it. He knows it's off the wall. Now it's just hustle. He picks up third base coach Dino Ebel, who at no time is even thinking about slowing him down. Scores easily.
All 4 balls have been hit hard in this fourth inning.
You see the hips wide open right there. The shoulders still somewhat closed. Creates that snapping action. Morales excited.
His 54th run batted in. Off the fist. And it will drop in. A base hit for Napoli. Morales holding at third. 5 consecutive hits for the Angels off Nick Blackburn here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Well, that ball not hit well, but effective. And Napoli, again, up at the plate with the runner on second. He's trying to go to right field so he can move that runner to third base. You see Morales not getting a great read on that. In that situation, he's got to be at least halfway, maybe a little bit more, because if Kadire does catch that ball, there's no way he goes to third on that. Not with the right arm that Michael Kadire has.
R.A. Dickey up and throwing in the Twins' pen. Dickey, a busy man earlier this week with Eric Ibar at the plate. He rips the first pitch foul. Dickey threw 86 pitches out of the pen in the 16-1 loss in Oakland.
Well, with 5 straight base hits right now, if I'm Blackburn, if I'm even a player on the Minnesota Twins right now, I'm hoping that he comes inside, knocks somebody off the plate. I'm not talking about hitting them, but just get them uncomfortable. You know, he's still nibbling, going away. You know, it's not as if, you know, they've been little flares or anything. There's only been one ball that wasn't hit extremely hard. You know, it just seems as if the Angels right now are just anchoring in at home plate. And one of the biggest tools to use as a pitcher to be effective is fear.
Still nobody out here in the 4th. Runners on first and third with Eric Ibar at the plate. Ibar popped to first. Back in the 2nd inning. Ground ball to the right side. Morneau steps on the bag and throws home for the double play.
Yeah, that's a great play by Justin Morneau. Now watch how he throws. He's throwing this flat-footed with his body wide open. Makes the throw, and see Redmond blocking the ball, blocking the plate. Look at that throw right there, wide open. Doesn't even turn, just a little flick, and Morales trying to make the stop and go slide. You see him watch. He slides and watch, trying to stop at that right foot and sneak it right over the outstretched leg of Mike Redmond, but Redmond does a nice job.
So now 2 outs. Napoli on second with Howie Kendrick at the plate. And Kendrick, who grounded out to second, his first time up, takes a called strike.
You see Morales try to slide his foot right around, but you see, look at that. Mike Redmond's got the plate blocked right there with his left foot. Home plate umpire Randy Marsh making the out call.
It was pretty close, even though Redmond did have that foot blocking the plate.
Well, I'm just surprised that Morneau was able to make that play the way he did. I mean, instead of just initially coming straight home, he took a step back, touched first base, and then with his body wide open, just turned his shoulders and flicked it home. Great play.
Off the fist, a bloop into center field, and it drops in. Napoli scores. In safely at second is Kendrick.
Well, Denard Span not having one of the better innings right now as far as execution. Look at this throw. Entirely misses the cutoff man, and then very easy for Howie Kendrick to go into second. Now he looks at the throw and where it is. He knows he can head into second easily. But Denard Span completely missing the cutoff man there. Puts a runner in scoring position. Again, this follows an at-bat where he swung at a 3-1 pitch that was out of the zone. would have put runners on first and second with Joe Mauer coming to the plate.
A game-changing at bat in the top of the fourth inning with the Twins leading 2-0. It's now 4-2 Angels. The batter of the inning is Gary Matthews Jr. And he takes the fastball high, ball one. Grounded out to short his first time up. Angels with 4 runs on 6 hits in the inning.
You know, this is what the Angels do. When you make a mistake as another team, whether it's out in the field or you don't execute up at the plate or you give them any type of life, they're able to expose that. I watched them do it against the Yankees right before the All-Star break, and they swept the Yankees. We've watched it today. Went down 2-0. They get the big strikeout of Span, and here just open things. The momentum has changed. You give these guys any type of life, and man, they're just ready to stomp on you.
The 3-0 pitch to Matthews, and he draws a 4-pitch walk. Ron Gardenhire out of the Twins dugout. So Blackburn retired the side in order in the first, the second, and the third, but does not make it out of the fourth. A perfect first 3 innings. Time now for the Zantac relief pitcher profile. Heartburn, attack it. Zantac coming out of the pen for the Twins, 34-year-old knuckleballer R.A. Dickey.
Well, not much more to say. Knuckleballer, that's what you're going to get, and he'll mix in an occasional fastball here and there, but not the type of outing that Ron Gardenhire was looking for today. He needed Nick Blackburn to go deep into the game, give the bullpen a rest. Unable to do that.
Reggie Willits fly to right his first time up.
As Marty Aronoff pointed out to us, this is really, just an epitome of what a hot team is going through in the Angels, and when a team is struggling, they just can't do anything right. The Twins. I mean, again, anything the Twins do, it seems to be wrong. They've left guys on base. They haven't taken advantage of their opportunities. When they do give the Angels a bit of a hole, the Angels expose it. That's the ups and downs of a season.
Now 3-1. And the Angels with this 4-run inning. It's the 12th time in the last 19 games the Angels have scored at least 4 runs in one inning. Willits with a bloop into left center, adding to the Angels' lead. As Kendrick crosses the plate. 4th run batted in of the season for Reggie Willits. Angels bat around. They've scored 5 runs here in the 4th.
Here Reggie Willits going with the pitch on the outer half of the plate, flips it out to left field. See Howie Kendrick getting a good jump in no time. Is he going to be held? That's another thing, a trademark of this Angels ball club. They're going first to third. They're going to score from second base on a base hit. And they force the other team to have to make a play.
I read a quote from Sean Figgins earlier this morning. He said, I think somewhat in jest, home runs kill rallies. Well, Figgins started this 4th inning rally with a leadoff home run. They've added 4 more runs. 5 runs on 7 hits here in the 4th.
Well, you know, there is some truth to that. You know, the home run, it will create momentum. But after a home run, there's nobody out there on base. You know, there isn't any pressure. When there's guys out on base, the pitcher has to be cognizant of where they're at. The infield has to worry about keeping runners close. You know, there's other things to worry about. You know, look, will a manager take a 3-run home run as opposed to runners on first and second with nobody in? Sure. But it absolutely makes sense when you say sometimes a home run can be a rally killer.
2-1 to Figgins. Fouls it off to the left side. 2-2. The Angels with 4 singles, 2 doubles, and the Figgins home run here in the 4th. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Figgins with his 2nd hit of the inning. Around third, Matthews. The throw to the plate is off the mark. The Angels score their 6th run of the inning. It's now 6-2, and the inning will continue.
Figgins again slaps his ball to the outside pitch. Left fielder Jason Kubel misses the cutoff man. Allows Reggie Willits to go into third base. Why is that important now? Because Justin Morneau has to hold Figgins on at first base, and now you have the right side of the infield open for the left-hand hitter.
Figgins steals second uncontested. His 29th stolen base this year.
The Angels just do not let up. They play the same type of baseball when they're down by 3 or 4 runs. Also when they're up by 3 or 4.
There's Turris. Deep right field. No doubt about it. The expressions in the Twins dugout tell the story. A 9-run 4th inning for the Angels.
again, right now, if you're the Minnesota Twins, what you're trying to do is get ready for tomorrow. And I say that is you just don't want to expend all the pitches. You say, okay, look, this game, you're going to have to chalk this one up and throw it away. But what you don't want to do is start using all sorts of guys out of the bullpen and where it can impact you tomorrow. Got to hope that Dickey can eat up some innings here.
2-1 now on Abreu. The Twins cannot wait for this week to end. A 14-13 loss in Oakland, in which Minnesota led by 10, as Bobby Keppel is up and throwing. A 16-1 loss to Oakland. Second hit of the inning for Abreu. And now a 9-run inning in Anaheim.
Well, and how about Sunday? You know, a week ago against Texas, a walk-off home run in extra innings beats them. So, again, this is a week right now that the Twins want to put behind them. And, look, teams experience this. You know, over the course of a season, the trick is not to dwell on it too much, not to let it impact your entire season. You've got to roll with it. You know, just as bad as things are going now, at some point things will go that well for this ballpark.
The Angels with 9 runs on 10 hits this inning. Kendry Morales, a run-scoring double earlier in the inning. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Pitch off the glove of Redmond. Abreu takes second.
See, this ball bounces before it gets to Redmond. Tries to backhand it.
The Angels, Eric, one shy of their club record of 11 hits in one inning. They have 10 hits here in the fourth and have scored 9 runs. The 2-1 to Morales. Fouled off to the left side, now 2-2. Twice in Angels history, they have had 11 hits in one inning. In Boston in 1966. And against the White Sox in 97. Team record for most runs in one inning, 13. Morales lifts it into left. Kubel backpedaling, makes the catch, and the inning finally comes to an end. The Angels scored 9 runs on 10 hits in the fourth. They lead the Twins 9-2. And the Twins were clinging to a 2-0 lead in the middle of the fourth inning. Joe Mauer takes strike one. It's now 9-2 Angels.
Well, and again, when you look at the recap of this ball game, it's going to be about how the Angels scored 9 runs in the fourth inning, and the hitting barrage, the home runs. But again, for me, this game turned on one at-bat. It was an at-bat in the top of the fourth inning with Denard Span at the plate. Sean Figgins, who led off the bottom half of the fourth with a home run.
1-1 to Mauer. Foul back, 1-2.
But getting back to that at-bat, those are the things that when you're going well, you know, Denard Span takes that pitch, runners go to first and second, Mauer up. And I mean, I might say that about 5 more times this broadcast, just because that at-bat, that pitch changed the complexion of this ball game.
I might hear it in my sleep tonight.
You might. I'll get a tape recording of it for you.
An endless
you can
loop.
play that. You can play that on your flight home.
An endless loop. 1-2 on Mauer. So again, great run support for Matt Palmer.
I mean, it's unbelievable. And you know, it's funny that we were speaking to Rex Hudler, who does the telecast for the Angels locally, and he was just mentioning, you know, we were talking about how, you know, some years some pitchers, they get all kinds of run support. There's other pitchers that, you know, they can be lights out every start, and they're getting 1 or 2 runs of support. You know, this year, Matt Palmer for the Angels, he happens to be that guy.
Palmer struggled over the first couple of innings, issuing 3 walks. Blackburn retires the first 9, and here we are, top of the 5th inning, 9-2 Angels. Mauer with a line drive caught by the shortstop, Ibach.
See, and this is when you're the Minnesota Twins right now. You're just thinking, look, there's not a thing we can do that's right. I mean, this ball is just a rocket. Almost takes Ibar's glove off. But and this is what happens again during the course of a season. A day like this, it's like, look, you know, I mean, what do we have to do, you know, to get a break?
Fastball missing away. Ball 1 to Justin Morneau. 0 for 1 with a walk today. One and one. Well, the bottom of the fourth, Eric, in which the Angels scored 9 runs on 10 hits, took 28 minutes of real time. 3 Angels had 2 hits in the inning. Figgins, Isturis, and Abreu. Figgins began the inning with a home run. Drove in 2 runs in the inning, scored 2 runs. Isturis, a 3-run shot as Morneau fouls it back, now 2-2.
I may have taken 28 minutes in real time, but I'll tell you, from that Minnesota dugout viewing time, it took an eternity.
Wow. We've talked about the week that has been for the Minnesota Twins. Twins tomorrow will finish up a 10-game road trip. At home. What do they have to do on Tuesday? Here's the payoff pitch to Morneau, and he drives it foul. Tuesday, they have to face Mark Burley. And there's what took place on Monday. Twins blowing a 10-run lead. He scored 7 in the 7th to win 14-13. Morneau down on strikes. 4th strikeout for Palmer. We spoke before the 9-run 4th with Ron Gardenhire, the Twins skipper, about his left fielder, Jason Kubel.
Well, you know what? He's one of those guys that doesn't get, you know, noticed as much as the 2 big guys in front of him, but he's been super for us. A great batting average. He's hitting over 300, and, you know, he's got a bunch of home runs, and he can swing it. The kid has always been able to hit.
Good timing on our part, Eric, in that we spoke to Twin skipper in the middle of the 4th inning.
Man.
His thoughts on what Jason Kubel has meant to his ball club this season. Kubel gave the Twins a 2-0 lead the third with his 18th home run of the season, second of this series. The 1-1 from Palmer. In for a called strike, 1-2. His bat winds up beyond the pitcher's mound, and he is thrown out by the second baseman, is Turris. For a 1-2-3 fifth for Palmer, 9-2 Angels. Of Major League Baseball. Kenny Albert, Eric Karros back in Anaheim. Angels lead the Twins 9-2 as we move to the bottom of the fifth inning. Third pitcher of the afternoon for the Twins is 27-year-old right-hander Bobby Keppel, called up from AAA in late June, a former first-round pick of the New York Mets.
Hard thrower. His job right now is to eat some innings. Give that bullpen a bit of a break.
R.A. Dickey faced 5 batters in the fourth. Allowed 3 runs on 4 hits. Starter Nick Blackburn, 3 2/3 innings. 6 runs, 6 hits. Look at Keppel's numbers with the Twins this season. Mike Napoli at the plate, 1 for 2 today. Single came around to score his last time up as the Angels sent 13 batters to the plate in the fourth. Season high 9 runs on 10 hits. Angels falling 1 shy of their club record for hits in 1 inning. And the 9 runs also the most allowed by the Twins in an inning this season. Angels scoring 9 runs in an inning for the first time since July of 2006. 3 years ago tomorrow, they scored 10 runs in 1 inning in Tampa. 1-2, Napoli, ground ball to the right side. Nice diving stop by Morneau. Keppel covering, 1 away.
Morneau making a great play. Again, he knows he has time over at first base. He gathers himself, picks up the pitcher, and makes a good throw to Keppel. Also, he gets the ball to Keppel before Keppel gets to first base. A lot of young first basemen like to throw the ball right to the bag. Get it to the pitcher before he gets to the bag so he can catch it and then find the bag and step on it.
So here's Eric Ibar, who, despite his recent numbers, he's the hottest Angel, the best hitter in all of baseball during the month of July. He actually hit into a double play during that 9-run fourth inning, thanks to the terrific throw by Morneau and the block at the plate by Redmond.
Well, he just didn't want to make it a 30-minute inning in real time, trying to speed things up a little bit.
The Angels came close. Right field, long run for Kadire, and it drops in. So Ibar with his first base hit of this game, extending his hitting streak to 6. The 11th hit of the game for the Angels. Our Bank of America Fan Cam brought to you by Bank of America Home Loans, making a commitment to home and to homeowners starting now. Home has a new address, and this stadium will be the home of the 2010 Major League Baseball All-Star Game. The All-Star logo unveiled earlier this week. The 81st Midsummer Classic will be played on July 13th, 2010, here in Anaheim.
We'll have that here on Fox.
Angels again on pace to draw over 3 million fans, with Howie Kendrick at the plate. Now 2-1. Angels have hosted 2 All-Star games. The first in 1967, and then again in 1989. During that 89 game, the former president Ronald Reagan was in the network broadcast booth. And of course, 20 years later, 44th president Barack Obama joined Joe Buck and Tim McCarver last week in St. Louis. This one gets past Morneau into right field. Ibar on his way to third. The Angels with runners on the corners and only 1 out here in the 5th inning.
Howie Kendrick doing a nice job of hitting that ball to the right side, taking advantage of the hole, and then, as typical, even when he has to hold up a little bit, Ibar still knows he's going to go to third base. He will force the issue. That is typical of an Angel ball club, and really it's taught throughout the minor leagues. I mean, it's part of a philosophy. No matter what level you're at, you go first to third on a base hit.
And the Angels, no surprise, once again lead the league in advancing from first to third this season. Gary Matthews Jr. walked during the 9-run fourth. Ibar the runner on third, and Kendrick over at first. Now 1-1. Getting back to the All-Star game, you were down in one of the dugouts. How close were you to President Obama when he came out to throw out the first pitch?
Well, I was in the dugout. You know, there was so much security, and I was able to see him. Wasn't able like I was able to pat him on the back and say, "Go get him there." He went out there, and I'll tell you what, Albert Pujols made a nice stab to prevent it from hitting the ground. But what an experience! It was a great game, and St. Louis put on a great event. They were great hosts.
Now 2-2 on Matthews. This past Thursday, 2 days ago, the All-Star logo unveiled here in Anaheim. Well, I'm not sure the president really wanted much to do with you, considering that you played for the Cubs and he's a huge White Sox fan.
Well, he had his White Sox jersey on.
Matthews called out on strikes, and also placed a phone call to Mark Burley on on Thursday. He had chatted with Burley at the All-Star game, and then Burley, just over a week later, throws the 18th perfect game in Major League history and received a phone call from the president, who made reference to the catch made by Dwayne Wise in the 9th inning.
Yep, not shy about showing his allegiance to the White Sox.
Two away. Here's Reggie Willits, and he takes a called strike, 0-1. First and third for the Angels with 2 outs. Fastball missing high and tight. 1-1. Mark Burley chatted with our Chris Rose during pregame show today. Chris mentioned that Mark's wife is ever annoyed with him around the house. All Mark has to say is, remember, I am Mr. Perfect. Only
for a day he was. No
only
question.
Only 18 through history have been able to use that line. At least in the sport of baseball. You and I have both tried it at home a couple of times. Gabe Kapler at the plate, and Dwayne Wise saves the no-hitter, the perfect game. A late inning defensive replacement, and the final out. Second career no-hitter thrown by Burley.
You know, and what was so amazing about that catch, forget about going up the wall, but if you see where he was playing as far as how shallow in the outfield, I mean, from the minute that ball was hit, he just turned and was in a dead sprint.
Full count now, 3-2 on Willits.
It just boom, and he is sprinting, has his back to the hitter, and comes up with a catch he'll always remember.
On one hop, Casilla with Kendrick on the move. Casilla throws out Willits, so the Angels strand 2 in the 5th. Dry skin and by priority mail, flat rate boxes only from the Postal Service. A simpler way to ship. Angels leading the Twins 9-2 as we move to the 6th. The Twins Hyundai in-game box score. Introducing the all-new 306 horsepower rear-wheel drive Hyundai Genesis Coupe. Twins with 2 runs on 4 base hits. Jason Kubel with a 2-run home run in the 3rd inning, giving Minnesota a 2-0 lead. But the Angels would come back and score 9 in the bottom of the 4th. So Matt Palmer, Mike Scioscia told us he wanted Palmer to go 5 or 6. He went 5, leaves with a 9-2 lead. Justin Spire coming out of the Angels bullpen.
Well, and as we talked about, Palmer again getting great run support in his starts. 7-1 coming in today, in line for his 8th victory.
Spire's numbers this season. Facing Michael Kadire leading off for the Twins here in the 6th. Kadire today is 0 for 2. Kadire, Busher, and Harris for the Twins, who trail by 7. Two balls, 2 strikes. Twins have lost 3 in a row coming into this one, including this game. They've now been outscored 37-11 over their last 4. Spire missing away, full count.
Well, again, just not a good run right now for the Twins, and they've had some bad news. Kevin Slowey may be down for a while, a sore wrist, and that's a 10-game winner right there. Liriano just hasn't gotten on track this year.
Kadire, right field, and it drops in front of Abreu. So the leadoff man is on for the Twins here in the 6th inning.
That's the ball that Abreu just misjudges. Got it, just does not open the glove up. Should be an error.
Marty Aronoff, our statistician, says base hit. And it is.
And I'll say it again. Should be an error.
So the 5th hit of the game for the Twins. Brian Busher at the plate. 0 for 2. Struck out his last time up. Busher returned to the Twins lineup last night, Eric. Sat out Thursday's game. Ate some bad sushi.
That'll do it. That will do it.
So was unable to play on Thursday night. And Busher sends this one into right center. On his way to 3rd is Kadire. He will hold there. So the Twins with back-to-back singles, 1st and 3rd with nobody out here in the 6th. Our Gillette Power trivia question. Who has the most runs batted in among eligible players not in the Hall of Fame?
Wow. You know that? You have any idea?
I do.
Oh, you do? Did you know that because you're knowledgeable or because you have some card that has the answer on it? Which
B.
one?
B.
Oh, you got
I was made privy to the information earlier today.
Oh, man. Okay.
And the gentleman that we are referring to is 29th on the all-time list. So 28 players ahead of him, and all who are eligible for the Hall of Fame are in. As Brendan Harris falls behind 0-1. Mike Redmond waiting on deck. 1st and 3rd. Nobody out for the Twins here in the 6th inning. Angels lead 9-2. Bounce foul back behind 3rd. 0-2. Think DH. As you go through the Rolodex in your mind of eligible Hall of Famers, think designated hitter. Spire missing inside, 1-2.
I'm thinking designated hitter, but no name jumping out at me right now.
Popped up, shallow right. Abreu coming on, shielding the sun. Makes the catch. runners home. Well, the Hall of Fame inductions will take place tomorrow in Cooperstown, New York. Rickey Henderson, the all-time stolen base king, receiving over 98% of the votes. His first time on the ballot. Rickey played for 9 teams, stole over 1,400 bases, 81 leadoff home runs. Fans here in Anaheim remember his brief stint as an Angel back in 1997. He played 32 games with the Angels and stole 16 of his bases wearing an Angels uniform. 0-1 on Mike Redmond. So Rickey Henderson going in on the first ballot. Jim Rice, who will also be enshrined tomorrow, elected on the 15th and final ballot that he appeared on. American League Most Valuable Player in 1978. Redmond pops it up, foul territory. Morales, the first baseman, does not have room. It bounces into the Twins dugout. So Redmond stays alive, 0-2.
See, Morales doesn't find his bearings, doesn't know where he's at, needs to get to the railing first and then try to reach over there. He's trying to reach and find the railing at the same time. Tough play into the sun as well. See him look up there. Again, and when you're going to the opposing team's dugout, certainly not going to get any help.
And one pitch later, Redmond strikes out for the second time, 2 away. First strikeout for Spire.
The Spire, a lot of movement. That ball just drops out of the zone. Sinker slider type guy. There's a fan.
So with 2 away, here's Alexei Casilla. Has reached base twice today. On one hop is Turris. The Twins ran 2 more base runners here in the 6th.
replay of the day.
That play at the plate took place during the 9-run, 10-hit Angels fourth. Figgins led off the inning with a home run. Came up the second time. Singled, stole second. Came around to score. First player in Major League Baseball this season to hit a home run and steal a base in the same inning. Two and one on Figgins. Is Turris waiting on deck. Top three hitters in the Angels order all came up with 2 hits in the fourth, but here in the sixth, Figgins lines out to the first baseman Morneau, who has had an active day in the field today. Congratulations to Jim Rice. And you take a look at the votes that he has received through the years. We mentioned this is his 15th and final year on the ballot. The first year received only 29.8% of the vote. Will finally be inducted tomorrow, and then on Tuesday, the Red Sox will retire his number at Fenway Park.
Yeah, well, we looked at that voting pattern, and you saw right before 2000.
As Turris flies out to Denard Span in center field.
The graph showed it. It's like he almost dropped off the map there, and then started climbing. And I remember as a kid watching Jim Rice and Fred Lynn. They came up together, and two young outfielders, and Fred Lynn went on to play here for the Angels, and Jim Rice for a period of about 10 years just dominated the American League in the power numbers, slugging percentage, home runs. One of the most feared hitters in the league.
382 career home runs, 298 career batting average for Jim Rice. And this photo, Eric, taken back in August of 1982 when Jim climbed into the stands at Fenway and helped save the life of a 4-year-old boy who was hit in the head by a batted ball, Jonathan Keene. And Jim says that moment, saving that boy's life, might be his greatest accomplishment. And Jonathan Keene is doing very well. Now 31 years of age. But Jim Rice helped save his life back in August of 1982 as Bobby Abreu draws a walk for the 56th time this season among the league leaders. Abreu on base for the 3rd time today. Kendry Morales, part of the Angels' 9-run fourth, doubled in a run. His first time up in the inning, and then he fly to left for the final out of the inning, which took 28 minutes of real time. Called strike, 0-1. The Twin starter, Nick Blackburn, retired the side in order in the first 3 innings. He was sailing along until the 4th. Bobby Keppel, the 3rd Twins pitcher today. R.A. Dickey tried to clean up the mess, but he allowed 3 runs on 4 hits in just a third of an inning. Morales fouls it off to the left side. 1-2. This summer, please join Major League Baseball and the People All-Stars among us in your community by signing up to volunteer at MLBGoBeyond.com. Ripped foul as Alfredo Griffin, the first base coach, dances out of the way. Another foul. We're getting back to that big inning, the 9-run fourth. 3 Angels, Figgins, Izturis, and Abreu all had 2 hits in the inning. Last time the Angels had 3 players with 2 hits in an inning back in May of '97, over 12 years ago. Gary DeSarcina, Darren Erstad, and Dave Hollins had 3 hits, or had 2 hits in 1 inning in a game against the White Sox. Figgins, Izturis, and Abreu did it today in the 4th.
Well, the thing that struck me, 5 consecutive base hits to lead off the inning, but the first 4 were all hit extremely hard. You know, and at no time did anybody get knocked off the plate, moved back a little bit. It just seemed like each and every hitter that inning was very comfortable at the plate. And again, I'm not talking about hitting somebody, but again, just create an element of fear.
Another nice play by Morneau. He's been busy today. 6 innings in the books. We'll return after these messages from your local Fox station. Kenny Albert, Eric Karros in Anaheim. Angels with 9 runs in the 4th. They lead the Twins 9-2. Third Angels pitcher of the game, Shane Lukes, after Justin Spire pitched a scoreless 6th, allowed 2 base hits, struck out 1. Denard Span leading off for the Twins. Span, tough day. 2 ground outs, and then that strikeout his last time up in the 4th inning that you've harped on. Probably the turning point.
The harp?
I agree with you, though.
No. I might harp on it 1 or 2 more times today.
I think the definition of harp, I'm pointing at the fact that you've mentioned it a few times, but I agree with you.
Well, they missed a cutoff man out in the outfield. Now, it hasn't been a day that he'll remember. And a very good ball player, I might add. Everybody at this level is entitled to have a couple days like that over the course of a 162-game season. But you want it to be more the exception than the rule.
You talk about exceptions. You look at 2 of the 3 pitchers we've seen on the Angels side today and the path that they've taken to get to this point. The starter Palmer thought about retiring to pursue landscaping design. And here he is, a couple of innings away from an 8-1 record. And Shane Lukes, who's on the mound right now for the Angels, less than 2 years ago was out of baseball. Returned home to Arizona, got a job coaching kids at a baseball training center. He was cut by an independent league team at one point. He was considering going to college to study graphic design. He had a friend who knew an Angels scout and called in a favor.
Well, and let's just say, that these guys, they do have talent. It's not as if, the guy that's doing your gardening, you're out there watching him, you're thinking, that guy could be pitching in the big league someday. That's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about, though, is two guys that can persevere, two guys that don't quit, two guys that are going to go out and keep giving them their all.
Yard span with a base hit into center field. We check out the Hyundai in-game box score. Only the fourth inning. These are the numbers from the fourth inning for the Angels today. They sent 13 batters to the plate.
Yeah, you look at something like that and you think, okay, that's a box score for the first 4 innings of a ball game, maybe. As you mentioned, that just 1 inning, and you look at the top 3, Figgins, Turris, and Abreu. They had a whole game in 1 inning.
Figgins and his Turris both homered, drove in a combined 5 runs in the inning. Joe Mauer at the plate, introducing the all-new 306 horsepower rear-wheel drive Hyundai Genesis Coupe. The Angels' fourth inning in-game box score. Crowd reacting to a bit of a delay, which we will not justify by showing. But you can probably imagine what is taking place on the field right now. Not near any of the players, fortunately.
I have to admit, that was a hell of a takedown by the security guard.
An excellent job by the security staff here at Angel Stadium. Top of the 7th inning here in Anaheim with the hometown Angels leading the Twins 9-2. Well, Fox tomorrow, they may seem like ordinary kids, but they're out to save the world. Tim Allen, Courtney Cox, and Chevy Chase. What a crew. Star in the world broadcast premiere of Zoom. Tomorrow at 8, 7 Central, right here on Fox. As Joe Mauer gets set to step back into the box, we check out our Taco Bell Bringing the Heat pitching comparison. The starters, Nick Blackburn and Matt Palmer. Blackburn reaching 93 miles per hour in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th innings. Didn't help in the 4th. And Palmer reaching 92 miles per hour in both the 2nd and the 4th. He is in line for his 8th win against only 1 loss. Thanks in part once again today to the run support that he has received. Angels scoring a season high 9 runs in the bottom of the 4th inning.
And again, while the velocity is nice and maybe that shows a pitcher's endurance, the bottom line is you want movement. You want to deceive the hitter. You want to keep the hitter off balance.
Two balls, 1 strike. Mauer at the plate. Morneau waiting on deck. Joe Mauer 1 for 3 today. Singleton scored back in the 3rd inning. On the ground to the right side. It gets past the diving is Turris. Holding at second is Span. 2nd hit of the game for Joe Mauer. And how about this compliment paid to Mauer by pretty good catcher in his day, Angel skipper Mike Scioscia. He said last night, I think we're going to be talking about Joe Mauer 10 years from now the same way we talk about Johnny Bench, Bill Dickey, Roy Campanella, and Carlton Fisk. He's going to be as good as anybody who has played the position.
That is high praise, and coming from an excellent catcher himself. It'll be interesting to see how long he plays the position. Again, he's had some injury issues. He's still a very young ball player. Obviously, in the near future, I don't think he moves anywhere just because he's more marketable as a catcher, more valuable as a catcher. But you could absolutely see him somewhere else on the field.
Broken bat, double play ball. 4-6-3. So Morneau grounds into a double play with Span moving over to third.
Again, we talked about how athletic this Angel defense is, and see his turns a nice flip to Ibar, gets rid of it quickly and turns a double play.
So with 2 away, here's Jason Kubel, whose home run back in the 3rd inning gave the Twins a 2-0 lead. His 18th of the year off Angel starter Matt Palmer. Fastball in for a called strike. 0-1. Kubel, one of 2 Twins to hit for the cycle this season. He did it against the Angels. Hit a grand slam in that game. His nickname, Eric, Wolfman. Nice block by Napoli. We mentioned earlier his numbers against the Angels this season. Slice to left, long run for Willits, and it drops in. Span comes in to score. Kubel slides in safely at second. So Jason Kubel has driven in all 3 runs for the Twins today. It's now a 9-3 ball game.
Well, hits his ball off the end of the bat, but well placed. Nothing much that Reggie Willits can do. Hustles over there and gets the throw into second.
Kubel now with 58 runs batted in. Here's Michael Kadire, singled his last time up. 1 for 3 in the game. First pitch, bounce to Figgins at third. High throw, and it sails away from Morales. Kubel waved home. Twins with 2 runs in the inning. It's now 9-4.
Just a situation where Figgins has a lot of time. Just sort of flips it over there, guides it over there. He's got one of the strongest arms as a third baseman. And sometimes you have a tendency in a game like this. It's warm. You've scored a lot of runs. It seems as if this game is in hand, and you don't fire it over there with that intensity. And now you're kicking yourself after you throw it away.
Brian Busher takes a called strike, 0-1. Busher 1 for 3, singled his last time up. 2 runs in the inning for the Twins. The Angels' lead is now 9-4. Time now for the Just for Men hair color American League hold leaders. Just as these players keep their team in the game, you too can stay in the game with Just for Men hair color. 3-way tie for first. Bobby C., Matt Guerrier, and Hideki Okajima. Nothing and 2 on Busher. 2 outs, top of the 7th inning. The big story today, the bottom of the 4th, when the Angels scored 9 runs on 10 hits. They sent 13 batters to the plate. John Figgins led off the inning with a home run. 3 Angels with 2 hits in the inning as they chased Twins starter Nick Blackburn. His second consecutive poor outing.
Well, and this is after Nick Blackburn went the first 3 innings without allowing a hit.
Base hit it to left field for Busher. Coming in to score is Kadire. It's now a 9-5 ball game. 11th run batted into the season for Brian Busher, and Mike Scioscia is on the phone to the Angels bullpen.
Well, it's one thing you can say about a Minnesota Twins ball club and Ron Gardner. I mean, they will not quit, and they will continue to play the game the right way, continue to play hard. You know, and right now in a game that seemed to be over in the 4th inning, you see Darren Oliver for the Angels getting loose. You know, as my old manager Dusty Baker used to say, that the Twins are now, you know, within grand slam range. You know, within 4 runs, and that's something that, you know, when you're blown out of a game, or it seems you're blown out of a game, you always want to get to that point. Get within 4 and then roll the dice and see what happens.
Well, the Twins saw the A's came back from a 10-run deficit against them in Blackburn's last start, ironically. They've chipped this 7-run lead to just 4. Grand slam range. Brendan Harris, first pitch, sends it into right center. Abreu calling off Matthews, makes the catch, and the inning comes to an end, but the Twins score 3 on 4 hits. It's 7th inning stretch time in Anaheim. And by Progressive Insurance, the freedom to name your price. Bottom of the 7th inning here in Anaheim. The 4th pitcher of the day for the Twins, making his 9th appearance this season, is the young left-hander Brian Dunsing out of the University of Nebraska. Pitched for the U.S. Olympic team last year in Beijing.
Well, Ron Gardner telling us prior to the game he hoped he didn't have to use him. But again, Twins starter not going very long. Bullpen hard at work.
Facing Mike Napoli, leading off for the Angels here in the 7th. Napoli takes a called strike, 0-1. Napoli today 1 for 3, singled, came around to score in the 4th. But who didn't? Two and one now on Napoli. Eric Ibar waiting on deck. Then Howie Kendrick. Largest deficit overcome by the Twins this season has been 5 runs. They trailed this game by 7 at one point. Now 9-5 Angels as Dunsing misses high with the fastball. 3-1. Angels looking for their 8th consecutive victory. They've won 11 of their last 12. They are a season high 19 games over the 500 mark. As Napoli shoots it into right. Kadire fighting the sun makes the catch for the first out of the inning. Take you back to our Gillette Power Trivia question. Who has the most runs batted in among eligible players? Eric, not in the Hall of Fame. And we told you to think about designated hitters.
Well, I got it after you showed me it.
There it is. Harold Baines with over 1,600 runs batted in. And most RBIs among eligible players not in the Hall of Fame.
Pretty good ball player. Played for many years. His number retired by the White Sox and the Orioles, maybe? Thought it was by 2 teams. Could be just one.
Grew up in the state of Maryland. Went home to play for the Orioles after a long and distinguished career with the White Sox. Texas Rangers. Six-time All-Star. Coach on Ozzie Guillen's staff with the 2005 White Sox as Eric Ibar singles into left field, his second hit today. Also entering the Hall tomorrow, the winner of the 2009 Ford C. Frick Award, the 1957 American League Rookie of the Year, Tony Kubek.
Joe D., you've seen such great fielding plays so far in this World Series, down in Baltimore and up here in New York Shea Stadium. You, of course, were part of that famous Al Gianfrido catch. You hit the ball. Are these toppers?
Oh, yes, I do recall that when I hit and Gianfrido catch, but I'd have to say 2 of the catches I saw here the day before yesterday and yesterday.
Tony Kubek played in 6 World Series with the New York Yankees and then went on to a distinguished career as a broadcaster. He was a part of 12 World Series broadcasts, either as the analyst or the field reporter. We saw him interviewing Joe DiMaggio, standing with the commissioner, Bowie Kuhn. So congratulations to Tony Kubek, as well as Ricky Henderson, Jim Rice, the late Joe Gordon, great second baseman, voted in by the Veterans Committee. The 1942 American League Most Valuable Player. As Kendrick fouls it back, Joe Gordon, a 9-time All-Star, 5-time World Series champion. And Nick Peters, who covered the San Francisco Giants for 47 years, will be enshrined, winner of the J.G. Taylor Spink Award. All 5 will be inducted tomorrow in Cooperstown. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Ibar the runner on first. And we took a look at some of Ricky Henderson's career highlights earlier, and Ricky has recently taken classes under a former Dodger. Played for the Dodgers in 1958. Earl Robinson teaches summer classes in public speaking and introduction to speech. And Ricky, always prepared as a player, wanted to be prepared for his Hall of Fame speech tomorrow.
Well, you know, I remember playing against Ricky, and, you know, when players would get down to first base, some of them would talk to me, to have a conversation, you know, basically small talk. We were playing the San Diego Padres, and Ricky's down at first base and starting to take his lead. And Ricky gonna go. Ricky got some shoes. Ricky gonna run. Ricky gonna run. And I thought he was talking to me. I said, "Hey, yeah, what's going on?" He wasn't talking to me. He was talking to himself. Had a full-blown conversation, talking himself into stealing a base, and sure as heck, he wasn't around very long. Took that conversation on to second base.
Talked himself into stealing a base 1,406 times. Runner goes, payoff pitch to Kendrick, and a long foul down the right field line. Ricky with 130 steals during the 1982 season. He's the last player to steal 80 in one season. That was back in 1988.
You know, and the fact that he was a great offensive player. I mean, the pounding that these guys put on their body when they steal bases.
There's ball 4 to Kendrick.
Constantly sliding into second base, the legs, the head first, the hands. You're sliding into that hard ground. Many years he played in Oakland with the day games, the hard dirt. And it takes its toll, yet he was still able to go out and be one of the best, if not the best, offensive leadoff hitter the game's ever seen.
And he has talked about the fact that whenever he would go into contract negotiations, despite all the stolen bases and the runs scored and everything else that Ricky did on the baseball field, and you see some of his records and superlatives along with Jim Rice, with Gary Matthews Jr. at the plate, he would always come to find out that the big home run hitters would earn the big dollars. And he said, I had to teach myself to become a better power hitter. And he winds up setting an all-time record with 81 leadoff home runs. Most runs all time. 1,295 runs scored. He's also caught stealing more than anybody else in baseball history. Caught stealing 335 times.
Well, he wasn't afraid of failure, and that's one of the things that, any great athlete, needs to overcome, and that's the fear of failing. Because if you're scared of failing, you'll never put yourself out on a limb. This pitch up in the zone, and Gary Matthews not able to catch up.
And that's something the Angels teach, as we've talked about today, even at the minor league level. Don't be afraid to fail. If you're caught stealing, as long as you're aggressive, we don't care. Left center. Off the bat of Matthews. Catch is made by Span for out number 2. Well, Pepsi, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball, congratulates Maicer Izturis, our clutch performer of the game, presented by Pepsi. Izturis with a double in the 4th inning, and then a 3-run home run later in the inning. Izturis, 2 hits in the inning. He scored 2 runs, drove in 3. Learn more about the MLB Clutch Performer of the Month award at PepsiClutch.com. 2 away. Here's Reggie Willits. 1 for 3 with an RBI today. Fastball from Dunsing, missing away, ball 1. Ibar the runner on second, Kendrick over at first. 2 outs, bottom of the 7th inning, as Dunsing fakes the throw to second. Angels 9 runs in the 4th. Twins have come back with 3 in the top of the 7th inning to pull to within 4. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Off to the right side, 1 and 2. Dyer can't get to it. We've been talking about comebacks and deficits. How about the Tampa Bay Rays today? Biggest comeback win in franchise history. Came back from an 8-0 deficit to defeat Toronto 10-9.
Only a few days removed from having that perfect game thrown against them.
And then last night, Roy Halladay went 9 innings, but the Rays won the game in 10, 4-2. Come back from an 8-run deficit today. Another foul. So back-to-back days, the Rays face Burley, who retires all 27, Halladay, and they win the game. And then they come back from an 8-run deficit on Saturday. What a 3-day span it has been. The ups and downs and ups. Willits called out on strikes. There is 7. We congratulate the family of the late Joe Gordon. The 4th Angels pitcher of this game. And he will face Mike Redmond leading off for the Twins. Redmond takes a called strike. Top of the 8th inning. Twins led 2-0. Angels scored 9 in the 4th. Twins then scored 3 in the 7th. A 9-5 ball game. As Oliver delivers. And Redmond rounds out to the first baseman Morales for out number 1. No assist on that play, but it's time for the Mercedes-Benz E-Class attention assist of the game. Take you back to the 4th inning. Terrific play by both Morneau and Redmond. Morneau with the assist as Ibar grounds into the double play.
Well, Justin Morneau has had a great game defensively. Made some diving plays over at first base. Been involved the entire game defensively. Very easy, too, in a blowout like this, or what was a blowout at 9-2. They become a little lax defensively, but Morneau stayed involved. And only a 4-run game right now.
0-2 on Casilla.
There's Justin Morneau. Has had 6 balls hit to him today. Marty Aronoff still working hard in this ball game.
After Marty, as Casilla is called out on strikes after Marty nearly went on the disabled list at the Home Run Derby. We'll get back to that in just a moment. Next week on Fox Saturday Baseball, the Yankees take on the White Sox in Chicago. Some of you will see Manny Ramirez of the Dodgers as they battle the Braves. Fox Saturday Baseball presented by Gillette Body Wash, returning next week at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific on Fox. Yankees in first place in the American League East. Mariano Rivera continues to roll as Denard Span takes a called strike. 0-1. So I'm at home watching the Home Run Derby, and Nelson Cruz hits a towering pop up to the left side, and it comes down and winds up getting lodged between Marty Aronoff and his seat. Marty's on the field working the Home Run Derby and did not miss a pitch. Did not go for any medical attention.
I want to know if he called it. Say, I got it, I got it. I got it, I got it. I ain't got it.
Marty, of course, used to working up in the booth, not just behind the third base coaching box.
There's Marty.
If there were a Statisticians Hall of Fame, Marty would be among the first inductees. Perhaps someday. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs. Top of the 8th inning with Denard Span at the plate. And Joe Mauer waiting on deck. A called strike 3. Span strikes out for the second time today. Middle of the 8th, 9-5 Angels. Road trips by Callaway and by the all-new Mercedes-Benz E-Class. Back in Anaheim, bottom of the 8th inning, the 5th pitcher for the Twins today, Jose Majares, the 24-year-old left-hander, and he will face Sean Figgins, who's leading off an inning for the 4th time today. The only time Figgins came to bat in which he was not leading off the inning was when he hit for the 2nd time in the 4th inning. 2 for 4. Both hits came in the 4th, including his 3rd home run of the season. 1 ball, 1 strike. Angels leading the Twins 9-5.
Again, this Angel ball club playing extremely well right now. But there are some places where they can still improve. You talk about a team that can run through the postseason. I think they do need another starting pitcher. As I said, that may be in the name of Joe Saunders or Irvin Santana, depending if those guys can regain their form in last year. You've got Saunders right there. John Lackey and Weaver have thrown well. I think the bullpen, getting to Fuentes, although they've got some very hard throwers, and Jepson has thrown extremely well as of late. That's another area where I think they're looking to improve.
Figgins draws a leadoff walk. Today's game-changing play is brought to you by Holiday Inn. Signs of change are everywhere with the Angels trailing 2-0. Bottom of the fourth inning, Figgins takes Nick Blackburn deep after Blackburn had retired the first 9 Angels in today's game. And that was the start of the 9-run, 10-hit fourth inning for the Angels. Here's Myceres Turris, who also homered in the fourth. And Eric, you were talking about the Angels starting pitching situation, and our Ken Rosenthal reporting that although the Phillies remain the apparent frontrunner for Roy Halladay, Ken reports the Angels and some other clubs are in the mix as Maharis throws to first. Here's what Paul Beeston had to say, the Jays interim president and CEO, as we check out the Angels rotation. Quote, "The only way he's going to be traded is if we are overwhelmed. We are not looking to move Roy. The only way it's going to happen is if it makes complete rational sense." Figgins goes. Here's the throw from Redmond. And Sean Figgins has his second steal today, his 30th of the season. 6th consecutive season with 30 steals for Sean Figgins.
Well, again, the Angels' mantra, never letting up, continuing to put pressure on the other ball club regardless of the score. Figgins in the scoring position right now.
What do you think? Is Halladay a Blue Jay past the deadline?
I'm not so sure how bad he wants to leave. I think it's really up to him, because if he wants to make it a situation where, look, I don't want to be in Toronto, I want to go, I want an opportunity to win somewhere, then it puts pressure on management. But if he doesn't do anything, then again, management doesn't have to move him. There's no urgency. They have him under contract for next year. I think, though, if I'm Halladay, I go there and I say, look, I want to go somewhere. Make that happen.
While Roy Halladay is still a Blue Jay, at least for now, how about what Matt Holliday has done in 2 games with the St. Louis Cardinals? Traded yesterday by the Oakland A's. Here's the 2-0. As Turris squares to bunt, takes ball 3. He was in New York with the A's. Took the train, got on an Amtrak train with his family from New York to Philadelphia. Plays in the game last night. Goes 4 for 5 for the Cardinals. He has 2 doubles today. 2 for 4 with an RBI. 6 for 9. Matt Holliday as a St. Louis Cardinal. Figgins steals third. Uncontested. As Turris draws a walk. Angels with runners on first and third here in the 8th.
Now watch this jump. He's got 3 steps, 4 steps before Maharis has even looked at home plate. That ball clearly stolen off of the pitcher. And again, you've got to pay attention to this Angels ball club regardless of the score.
So what has Sean Figgins done today? A home run, 2 runs scored, 2 runs batted in, and 3 steals.
It's a complete ball player right there. Again, it's really reflective of what this Angel ball club is all about. They can bite you every once in a while with a home run, but they're going to put constant pressure on you, going to have good at-bats. A pitcher is not going to have an easy at-bat with really any of these Angel hitters. They go up there, they battle, they foul pitches off. They wear you down.
Bobby Abreu takes a called strike, 0-1. Figgins on third. Is Turris over at first. As Turris goes, and a base hit off the bat of Abreu into left field. Figgins scores. Is Turris in at third? It's now 10-5 Angels.
Well, Bobby Abreu doing what he does best, and that's hitting with runners in scoring position. Serves the ball out to left field. See him getting the break here immediately on the pitch and then hustling easily into third base.
Ball one to Morales. First three Angels have reached base here in the eighth. Fastball in for a called strike, 1-1. Morales, right field. Catch is made by Kadire. As Turris comes in. Sacrifice fly. Second RBI of the game for Morales, and the Angels lead is now 11-5.
This ball, line drive hit out to right field. Kadire coming in. Not going to attempt to make the throw. A little surprised about that. I don't think he had, and again, you look at the runner right there. He didn't have any intention of scoring from the get-go. He was going to take a few steps and stop, but Kadire just running in and flipping it to second base. Not making any attempt to hold the runner at third base.
Napoli gets a towering pop-up. Backpedaling and making the catch with the shortstop Harris for out number 2. Time now for a DirecTV game break. Phillies and the Cardinals. 6th inning, bases loaded. Jimmy Rollins goes deep, a grand slam, giving the Phillies a 7-4 lead. And then the next batter, Shane Victorino. Back-to-back home runs for the Phils. That made the score 8-4. It's now 12-5 Phillies in the bottom of the 7th inning. Victorino 4 for 4, 3 runs batted in. Jimmy Rollins 2 for 5 with 5 RBIs. As this one is crushed by Ibar, it curves foul. Watch your favorite MLB team no matter where you live with DirecTV. So the Phillies looking to make it 9 out of their last 11. Began the day with a 5.5 game lead on both the Braves and the Marlins in the National League East. 11-5 Angels here in Anaheim. Angels with 2 runs in the 8th. 0-1 to Ibar. And Maharis missing inside, 1-1. Ibar, right field. Kadire coming on. He makes the catch. We head to the 9th in Anaheim. It's the Angels 11 and the Twins 5. The Angels, originally a 9th round pick by the Angels back in 2005, went to the Phillies in the Rule 5 draft last December. Now back with the Angels. He was a starter in Double-A last season. Double-A Arkansas went 9-12 in 29 starts. And who does Bobby Mosbach have to face as he throws his first pitch as a major leaguer? None other than Joe Mauer.
Yeah, throw him right into the fire. Find out how good you are. You face the best hitter in the American League. Go get him.
Welcome to the major leagues, Bobby. An exciting moment, of course, as he enters with a 6-run lead. The Angels with 9 runs on 10 hits in the bottom of the 4th inning to break this game open. And how about what the top 3 men in the Angels order have done today, Eric? Figgins, Izturis, and Abreu. They combined 7 for 12, 2 home runs, 6 runs scored, 7 runs batted in.
It's a good day at the office right there.
So now Mosbach will try and close things out. His first pitch is a called strike. 0-1 on Mauer. Tremendous job by our entire crew today here in Anaheim. Our producer Larry Lancaster, director Bill Webb, associate director Wayne Wilson, broadcast associate Yvonne Wagner. 0-2. Our technical producer Rod Conti, technical director Jonathan Evans, pregame show produced by Don Bowie. The highlights coordinator is Janice Casaza. Studio technical supervisor is Jack Simmons. The supervisor of remote field operations is Jerry Steinberg. The 0-2, and Mauer pops it up to the left side. 2 Angels converge on it, and the catch is made by the shortstop Ibar. So Mosbach retires Joe Mauer for the first out of the inning. Our director of remote productions is Jacob Ullman. Senior producer of Fox Sports is Bill Brown. The executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill. Marty Aronoff and Dennis D'Agostino crunching the numbers for us today, as Mike Napoli has a bit of an equipment issue. Chatting with the home plate umpire Randy Marsh, the crew chief, who is wearing a microphone for us today. Mosbach retired Mauer, now facing Justin Morneau. And the first pitch in for a called strike. Tonight on Fox, it's an hour of Cops, followed by an all-new America's Most Wanted. Tonight starting at 8, 7 Central, right here on Fox. 0-2.
Well, Mosbach throwing well. Now remember, Mosbach, none of these Twins hitters have ever faced him. They don't know anything about him right now. So even though it's his first appearance, he's got the advantage.
His first 5 pitches, all strikes. The 0-2 to Morneau. Fastball missing inside. 1-2.
You know, as a hitter right now, you're asking your hitting coach, hey, do you have any reports on this guy? And, you know, if somebody just recently got called up, you say, hey, have you seen this guy anywhere in the minor leagues? But other than that, it's a learning experience as you go to the plate. I don't care how good of a hitter you are. Batting coach Joe Vavra, great job with the Twins.
Full count. Joe Vavra, who was with Ron Gardenhire jet skiing during the All-Star break when they ran into a bit of an issue and Gardenhire's cell phone became waterlogged. A shot past the diving first baseman Morales, so Justin Morneau with a 1-out base hit. We mentioned Randy Marsh wearing a microphone for us today. Let's listen.
No, it ran out, Mike. Ran out on you. Good pitch. Yes, good pitch. Good corner, buddy.
Get that on the plate.
Good. Definitely.
Did you often ask the home plate umpire where a certain pitch was?
I didn't ask so much as I usually tell him where I thought it was when I was in disagreement with the call.
And then he would tell you where he thought it was.
Yeah, he'd tell me. It was never I thought. It was always, no, it was over the corner of the plate. It wasn't I thought.
I know.
I saw it. Went right over the corner. All right.
When you go back, check out the video.
Go back, check out the video. Most of the time, the umpires were right.
Mosbach now behind 3-0. Jason Kubel has driven in 3 of the Twins' 5 runs today. Morneau, the runner on first, 1 out, top of the 9th inning. The 3-1. Base hit into center field. Morneau on his way to third. So the Twins go from first to third. Here in the 9th inning, they have runners on the corners with 1 out.
Runners on the corner, 1 out. Corners, I should say. But those were the 2 runs that the Angels scored in the 8th inning. So important. It took them out of that grand slam range, that 4-run lead that they had. They expanded it. Again, that's why Mike Scioscia continues to put pressure on the opposing teams. Brian Fuentes, most saves in Major League Baseball, warming up. And he was up last night, did not get into the game.
Fuentes with 30 saves this season. An extended conversation on the mound. Randy Marsh will head out, and now Mike Butcher heads back into the dugout. Mosbach retired Maurer. He popped out to short. Back-to-back singles by Morneau and Kubel. So Michael Kadire steps in. With 1 out, top of the 9th inning, Angels lead 11-5. Fastball missing high. Ball 1. Kadire with a bloop right into the glove of the shortstop Ibar for out number 2. So now the Angels just 1 out away from winning their 8th consecutive game and reaching a high point for the season, 20 games over the 500 mark.
Well, that this counts as another come-from-behind victory. Angels down early, 2-0.
Morneau on third, Kubel over at first. Kubel goes, and Busher comes down to the second baseman is Turris for the final out. The ball game is over, and the Angels have won their 8th in a row. The Twins have lost their 4th consecutive game. Mike Scioscia's ball club scoring 9 runs on 10 hits in the bottom of the 4th inning. The Angels defeat the Twins by the score of 11-5.